Today, we are talking about taking IT sustainability a step further. We all know about traditional initiatives like low emission hardware and energy efficient data centers. But what if we could leverage technology to not just reduce our environmental footprint, but actually drive positive change? That's where robotic process automation or RPA comes in. RPA uses software robots to automate repetitive tasks, freeing up human potential and boosting efficiency. But the benefits go beyond just the bottom line. RPA can be a strategic tool for sustainability. Imagine using RPA with the Internet of Things to deliver clean energy in underserved communities, or picture it automating data analysis for COVID-19 detection systems. Even community engagement for waste reduction programs can be streamlined with RPA. These are just a few examples of how RPA's diverse capabilities can ripple effect of ecological and social benefits. So Apoorva, let's dive deeper. We talked about the traditional IT sustainability efforts, but how exactly is RPA taking things a step further? What are the different ways RPA is promoting these crucial advantages that enable and strengthen a comprehensive sustainability approach?
That's a great question, Ajinkya. Hi guys, this is Apoorva. Ajinkya, so the word sustainability and the entire concept of sustainability, I think it really intrigues me, and it's not just about getting intrigued, right? It's a do or die situation for us and for the entire techno commercial or the corporate community, global corporate community per se, right? Gone are the days when it was just the manufacturing sector or the supply chain sector who were rightly taking the beating of the environmentalists and the associated activists about those big corporate honkos not meeting the sustainability norms. But we have to admit it now, sooner or later, that the IT sector as well is one of the biggest emitters of carbon, and the carbon footprint for the entire IT sector as well is humongous, and something needs to be done about that, right? And it is here that I started thinking and realized that RPA is really it's like the ace up the sleeve for the entire IT sector, and let's take a look into how that happens, right? It needs to let's try to understand that RPA is empowering organizations for leveraging the data for taking precise, nuanced, and informed decision making. And consecutively, what is happening is there is a surreal elevation within the customer experience, and the market competitiveness is also taken into the picture as a result, right? Moving further, it's not just RPA that should be focused on, but rather in case we integrate RPA with something like process mining technology, then what is happening is a nuanced understanding of the processes could be gathered, crucial comprehensive insights could be taken into consideration, key patterns would emerge from that within the operations, within the processes, and as a result, whatever bottlenecks are being there, they would be identified, and most importantly, preemptive bottleneck identification and mitigation could be done with a renewed vigor, as a result of which obviously goes without saying that process optimization would also come into picture. Another important factor that needs to be considered is that RPA combined with, we first talked about process mining, right? Now we are going a step ahead and saying that in case RPA is combined with AI driven process mining, what is happening is, instead of a microscopic view, now organizations could get a macroscopic view in terms of insight generation could happen through uncovering the hidden insights, improvement opportunities could be looked into, and overall enterprise level innovation cycle could be understood, and process improvements could be mitigated in that regard. One more point that needs to be mentioned is that because RPA enables task identification and it liberates employees from the repetitive and mundane tasks, as a result of which these resources or these employees could be highlighted or could be diverted, their energy could be diverted towards more key value added activities. They could be focusing on larger strategic objectives, as a result of which this would promote the creativity of the employees, and unhinged innovation could be undertaken from there on. It's also interesting to note that ultimately what is RPA doing, right? It is automating the routine tasks, mundane tasks like process entries, manual data entries, those kind of tasks are getting automated The resources are getting freed up, obviously, as I mentioned, for strategic initiatives, and as a result of which, ultimately, time savings for not just the resources, right, but also for the enterprise level time saving can be achieved, and thus efficiency can be achieved, right. Another important aspect, obviously, is that let's take a step back and understand what actually RPA does, right. It basically streamlines the ever paper dependent or the previously paper dependent and somewhat cumbersome processes through utilization of something like optical character recognition technology, right. What happens is the paper usage is reduced, redundancy in the errors, redundancy in the processes is also being reduced, as a result of which nuanced understanding of the processes, the relevant data can be achieved. Also, real-time changes into that data can be achieved. Understanding the data across multiple enterprise touchpoints could also be achieved. So, a diverse understanding of the entire end-to-end automation processes could be achieved. As a result of which, obviously, accuracy would be improved, data integrity, a very crucial aspect, could be retained, and thus, again, the organizational efficiency could be improved. One more important point is that since RPA enables real-time data retrieval from the end-to-end processes, so obviously, what happens is it enables the businesses for responding extremely flexibly and in a real-time fashion towards enhancing that data and towards, based on the current market dynamics that are coming into the picture, right? Which obviously promotes scalability of the overall enterprise, which goes without saying, right? And if you're talking about all this, it's pretty obvious that a significant cost factor needs to be considered, and that is where again RPA comes into the picture. Because if RPA is actually implemented like a software as a service solution per se, obviously it goes without saying that the entire operational, the entire infrastructural, the entire ideation costs or the expenses would be reduced, thus obviously enhancing the cost effectiveness. That's it, Ajinkya, for that point. I think it was a very interesting discussion, and I hope the relevance and the need for RPA in the context of sustainability, it could be touched upon, and that the viewers are able to understand our very strong and urgent opinions about the same. And RPA, a topic very close to my heart, because I have been tracking the market for multiple years. In a nutshell, Ajinkya, if I have to really sum it up really quick, although you summed it up beautifully, I would like to add that obviously, in order to embark on an RPA journey, a holistic approach and a holistic mindset needs to be considered. And if that happens, there are hundreds of touch points, right? Right from finding the precise errors within the processes, analyzing the data of the processes, processing that data, all together towards something like analyzing the energy usage and the supply chain optimization, right? So the touch points for RPA, as we mentioned earlier, they are actually limitless. Just to sum up, RPA, obviously, it scrutinizes the processes, enhancing the efficiency and accuracy. It automates the key processes, identifies the waste areas, and obviously mitigates those waste areas, right? So ultimately, it liberates the key resources. It could be the economic resources, obviously the employee as the resource, and any technology or any infrastructure if we treat it as a resource, right? So entire resource optimization is implemented in a very effective level so that the resources could be put to better use towards key strategic pursuits, right? Cost reduction, of course, it happens as well, and ultimately what it does is there is a very symbiotic and a synergistic relationship and a balance that can be optimally maintained between the automation initiatives or the need for implementing automation, and also the overarching business objectives or the overarching enterprise vision that needs to be considered. So I think a very fine balance can also be maintained through making wise utilization of RPA towards the enterprise sustainability goals. So I think that's it from my side, Ajinkya. It was great interacting with you.
Wow, Apoorva, that's a lot to unpack. It seems like RPA can be a game changer for businesses looking to become more sustainable. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. How do you see RPA impacting sustainability efforts in your industry? Stay tuned for more such videos.